Skin undertones can be a bit of a mystery. How can you actually find something that you never lost? A lot of people get confused with that. And to be honest, a lot of makeup brands don't cater to a really wide range of skin undertones. Let me break it down in a way that's easy for you to identify what your undertone is. So the very first thing we're gonna do is look at the veins we have on our wrists. I got a burn here from my air fryer yesterday. Thank you. But forget that. These are the veins that you're going to be looking at. I don't know how well you can see my veins. I have a little cheat sheet here that I like to use when I'm teaching my students. So if you have veins that look really, really green, these ones on your wrist, you have a warm undertone. If you have veins that look purple and blue, you have a cool undertone. Now, if you have veins that look blue but also green, you're neutral, because that means you usually just sit in the middle. So you are a mixture of the cool and the warm. So that's why you are neutral. Now, this is the most underrated skin undertone of all, olive. And a lot of foundations don't actually come with olive undertones. To know if you have an olive undertone, again, you're going to look at your veins. And if you have a green vein, but you also have a vein that look a little bit like teal, like a mix of blue and green, that is olive. That's what makes it olive. A lot of people actually confuse olive and warm. Depending on the intensity of the olive, you can actually get confused because it can be quite similar. I am olive, but I'm a very subtle olive. I'm not super olive like some people are. Like you look at them and they look green, basically. But you should be able to find this how subtle this is. I don't know how well you can see my veins, but I have this big green vein here, and I have a teal vein just there. I'm not sure if you can see that really well or not, but I have green and I have teal undertones. The other indicator of what your skin undertone is jewelry. Okay, so let's see what happens when we have gold and silver jewelry. You can see here, I just told you that my skin undertone is olive. So if you see the gold almost like blends into my skin. It looks natural, it looks soft because my skin is olive. Olive looks really good with golden jewelry. And the same thing with warm skin undertones, because a warm skin undertone has a little bit more yellow in it. That's why a golden jewelry looks better. Now, if you look really good with silver jewelry, as you can see here, the silver just stands out so much on my skin, but the golden actually blends in really nice. So if silver looks really good on you, you have a cool undertone because silver has a blue cast. Cool undertones have a blue cast to them, which makes them look cool. Okay, so and what about a neutral undertone? Neutral undertone is the catch. You can actually use both. Both tend to look really good on someone that has a neutral undertone, because a neutral undertone, as we looked here on my little document, a neutral undertone is actually a mixture of cool and warm. And that's why both jewelry will look really good on someone that has a neutral undertone, because it's a really balanced undertone. Now, another way you can actually try to identify your undertone is to go in natural light, and you can wear a white top or just have a white sheet over you, and then you can see which color bounces off that white. If it's a little bit yellow, if it looks a little pink or blue, or if it's looking a little bit green. So that's a really good indicator again to what your skin undertone is. Now, the safest and the easier way to do so is really looking at your veins. And that's really important to know, not just for foundation matching, but when you're choosing other colors in your makeup, like eyeshadows, blush, and lipsticks, these colors become extremely important, because if I want to use a blush or a lipstick or an eyeshadow that looks nice and soft and bronzy and like really blends into my skin, again, I'm olive, I need to look for colors that have a warm or olive undertone. Mostly warm and cool undertones when it comes to other products in makeup. So let's say if I want that really natural sun-kissed look, I'm just going to be using products that have a warm undertone. The blush, the lipstick, the eyeshadow, everything needs to have a warm undertone. Okay, now if I want to have any element in my makeup to really stand out, let's see if I want to have a lipstick that's really bright, it's really bold and punchy. I actually need to look at lipsticks that have a cool undertone because you can see how that cool against my skin that's olive really stands out. The gold kind of almost like blends in. Again, it's the same thing with the makeup. So you need to know your undertone so you can actually choose the colors that are going to look better on you, depending on the type of makeup you're trying to achieve. If you like this video and you want to learn a little bit more about makeup and color theory, subscribe to my channel.